like? Why? Why did we like it?
Era novedoso para su tiempo.
Era novedoso.
Era
It was
regulable,
beautiful.
autorregulable, se autorregulaba.
Yeah.
Clap. Clap.
Yeah.
Era
And
una
it came in
innovación
beautiful
secuencial, ¿no?
colors. The women love colors. And the men, when you flipped it, you felt like James Bond, didn't you? So at that time, Apple was still not
Pequeño.
successful. Apple,
Tamaño.
okay? So they go to Motorola and say, please, 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 can we put iTunes into your Razr? So iTunes plus Razr is Rocker. And Rocker was a disaster. Why was Rocker a disaster? Number one, it had flash memory, which means limited capacity. Number two, it didn't have the FireWire, which means, again, slow download. Number three, it went against the flip trend. Big disaster. So Steve Jobs is screaming at everybody. He's screaming, why didn't you learn your own lessons? We knew all the problems with flash. We knew the problems of download, and how could you violate it? He's screaming at everyone. And during the project, the team is complaining, saying that Motorola is a terrible company to work with. Horrible culture. They can't believe that a terrible company came out with a hit product. Okay, it was like the Macarena. Nothing came before it, nothing came after it. And only the Spaniards know who sang that song. Okay. So when he keeps hearing that people are, that Motorola is not so great, what does he say? He says, hey, if you guys are so smart, build it. So all the work comes to a halt on the tablet. Stop the tablet. No, don't work on the tablet. Move all the money and the resources to the phone. Why? Why move all the resources from the tablet to the phone? Why not keeping working on both? Tablet is uncertainty. There is no, we don't know who the market is. We don't know what the features are. We don't know what the price point should be. Whereas phone is risk because there are already smartphones. We can make a calculation. They made a calculation. If we get 1% market share in 5 years, we will recover the money. When you don't have too much resources and money, you should choose risk, not uncertainty. So that's why I tell all my students, when they are starting their businesses, go with risk and not with uncertainty. Depends on how much resources you have. Again, hi-fi is a failure. Finally, the iPhone comes out on 2G, not on 3G. Why 2G? Because there are much more prevalent globally. More software developers for 2G. And also, when I upgrade next year to 3G, I'm going to make you pay $100 for it. And he doesn't like to outsource the apps. He wants to control all the apps. Why does he want to control all the apps? He doesn't want to outsource the apps. What's he always obsessed with? What does he always want to control? The customer experience. He's obsessed with customer experience. And he believes that closed systems are better for customer experience. Okay. Finally, they show the example. His team shows the example of NTT Docomo, which had outsourced all the content, and they were getting, for every yen, they were taking 8% from the content creators. So he tells them, okay, it's his words, not my words, okay? It's his words. He says, If you assholes, if you think you're so smart, show me that this business model works. But I don't want 8%, I want 30% from the content creators. iTools became iMac, became Mobile Me. Again, it fails. Next year, the iPad comes out. He dies the next year. 1 week after he dies, iCloud comes out and becomes a big hit. So after 11 years, it becomes a big hit. I also want to make sure you discuss Washington Post when you go into your breakouts. We all know we are changing our habits. We are getting news, not on our papers anymore. We are getting it from all kinds of different devices and different formats. And for 10 years, Washington Post was going down. And Jeff Bezos buys it for $250 million. Okay, that is in 5 minutes, he makes that money. So it's pocket change for him. He says there won't be printed newspapers in 20 years. People will still pay good money for good journalism. We don't know what the business model is. We need to invent. We need to experiment. He says the values of the Post don't need to change. I can help from a distance to do a series of experiments. At Amazon, we are focused on the customer, we invent, and we are patient. I think we can do the same thing at Washington Post. And he turned it around. So I want you to discuss two things. Group 1 through 5. What lessons can we learn from the journey of Jobs, Next, Pixar, and Apple? Even more important than lessons, what 1 or 2 stories do you remember that you won't forget? 10 minutes. Groups 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How did Jeff Bezos turn around Washington Post? 10 minutos. Let's go into breakout. Random, please. Amparo. Quick assignment to 10 teams. What do you want to remember from Steve Jobs' story? Group 6 through 10. How did Jeff Bezos turn around Washington Post? The articles that you read. Okay, vamos. 10 minutos. 10 minutes.